Earlier this month, there were stories in both the Globe and Mail and the Ottawa Citizen revealing that Library and Archives Canada, LAC, is preparing to release a list of nearly 900 names of alleged Nazi war criminals who entered Canada following the Second World War. With the passage of time, it can be safely assumed that the overwhelming majority of these individuals are long since deceased. Those Canadian officials responsible for allowing these Nazi war criminals entry and failing to bring them to justice for the war crimes they committed are most certainly no longer among the living. So one would think this would be a rather routine release of formerly classified government information. However, that has not proved to be the case. It is time to target exactly who is trying to protect the identity of alleged Nazi war criminals and why. The contentious files include documents compiled by the 1986 Federal Government War Crimes Commission headed by Justice Jules Deschênes. One such document is entitled The Master List of Alleged War Criminals Resident in Canada with a List of Sources. While this particular list contains 774 names, additional files of Nazi scientists and technicians who entered Canada following the war brings that total to 900. The original news stories revealed that after LAC had received an access to information request for the master list of alleged war criminals, they had conducted a series of consultations with what LAC officials described as a discrete group of individuals or organizations. Those consulted included various representatives from Canada's Ukrainian community, along with other Eastern European diasporas. Not included in the LAC discussions were any Holocaust survivors or Holocaust scholars, whom one would think would be the key stakeholders in a decision to release the names of Nazi war criminals. Also, one would think that all Canadians would be interested in knowing the identity of alleged Nazi war criminals who were allowed to live out their lives peacefully in our midst. However, many of those consulted by LAC took strong exception to the notion that the list would be made public. One argument put forward was that the release of this information could lead to the prosecution of any of these alleged war criminals who may still be alive. Last time I checked, there is no statute of limitations on war crimes, and why would long delayed justice in these cases be objectionable to anyone? As many of the names on the federal government list are believed to be originally from Ukraine, the Ukrainian community has argued that the release of the names might embarrass their diaspora and simultaneously provide Russia with fuel for their propaganda machine. One of Russian President Vladimir Putin's stated reasons for his 2022 invasion of Ukraine was the denazification of Ukraine. Fresh in the minds of many Canadians is the September 2023 political fiasco, wherein, during a visit from Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky, MPs from all parties rose in the House of Commons to give two standing ovations to World War II veteran Yaroslav Hunka. Speaker of the House Anthony Rota announced Hunka to his fellow parliamentarians and described Hunka's wartime service as having
fought the Ukrainian independence against the Russians.
Thus, it was quickly revealed that Hunka had actually served in a Ukrainian Waffen-SS division, which was alleged to be involved in war crimes.
Members of this division were involved in massacres, mass murder of Jews, of Poles.
The backlash from this blunder was heard around the world.
I mean, how catastrophically, moronically stupid.
And naturally enough, amplified by Putin's propagandists, who were quick to make the most out of Western politicians paying tribute to a Nazi. However, not releasing the names of alleged Nazi war criminals who entered Canada would be a continued protection of individuals who perpetrated the Holocaust or collaborated with the Nazis. Yet that is exactly what the Ukrainian Canadian Congress, UCC, intends to do with a court challenge to prevent the LAC from making the contentious list public. The UCC have just launched a fundraising drive to solicit $150,000 to cover the cost of their legal challenge. It is appalling that the Canadian government would attempt, for no good reason, to subject innocent Canadians, their family members, and descendants to public scorn, wrote the CEO and executive director of the UCC in his fundraising plea. There is a lot to dissect in that, but I'll give it a go. The LAC would be following the law by releasing information requested under the Access to Information Act. Alleged war criminals, as identified by the Deschênes Commission, do not automatically fall into the category of innocent Canadians. Furthermore, I think Canadians are wise enough to discern that offspring and descendants do not inherit the guilt of crimes committed by their parents. Instead of focusing on the list of Ukrainian Canadians who fought for Hitler's Nazi regime, why not herald the 40,000 Ukrainian Canadians who fought for Canada, against Hitler, in that same war? Maybe put the $150,000 in the UCC legal challenge into a monument for those Ukrainian Canadians from World War II who fought for Canada. This has been On Target. I'm Scott Taylor.